Hey everyone, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I created a Formula 1 style racing animation in Blender using one of the most powerful car animation tools available, the Launch Control Addon. It's a professional grade add-on used by studios and manufacturers all over the world to create realistic vehicle animations fast. Now personally, I think Launch Control is the best add-on for car animations in Blender. If you want to try it out for yourself, you can get the add-on using my affiliate link in the description. Doing so will also help support the channel so I can bring you more videos like this. This tutorial will cover a bunch of different topics, including how to download and install Launch Control in Blender, where to download free F1 car models online, how to rig cars using the Launch Control add-on, setting up a racing scene, lighting, attaching a driver character to your cars, adjusting car speed, adding 4 different camera angles using reference, and then final render settings. I'm dividing this tutorial into 2 parts so you're not easily overwhelmed. So make sure to hit that like button right now and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Alright, without further ado, let's get started with the tutorial. So this is the Launch Control add-on, and as you can see, here is all the information you need to see if you want to purchase it to streamline your workflow as well. But like I said again, I highly recommend this if you do any sort of car animation in Blender. So once you have it purchased and downloaded, you want to go ahead and download this 4.2 or above version right here. And since I'm using Blender 4.5, you want to go ahead and download this version right here. You can also download some free vehicles that come with the Launch Control add-on, as well as a high quality race driver named Dave, which you can use in any one of your animations. Okay, so once you have it downloaded, it'll be saved depending on where you saved it. Mine is saved right here in the downloads folder. And what I do is I actually go ahead and move it to a folder called the add-ons folder. I have a separate folder for all my Blender add-ons. So I made it right here. So I just double click and then here are all my add-ons that I have for Blender. And then what you can do is you can just drag this zipped folder into your add-on folder right here like me. And then you don't want to unzip it. You just want to leave it zipped like this. And then you can go into Blender and then go to Edit, Preferences, go to Add-ons, and then you could go ahead and click on Install from Disk. And then you can go to wherever you saved the add-on that you just downloaded. I saved it in my add-ons folder right here. So double click, and then I'll just search for Launch Control. And there it is. You just click over here and then click on Install from Disk. I already installed it, so I don't need to do this, but you're going to go ahead and just click on Install from Disk, let it install, and then once you have it installed, you can go ahead and try to search for it right here. And then make sure you check mark it here to enable the Launch Control add-on. And then once you have checkmarked it, go ahead and click on Save Preferences, and then you can close out of that. And then you can just close Blender and restart it. And then once you have it restarted, you can go ahead and click N, and then the Launch Control add-on should be right on the side right here. And then you are ready to import your first car model and get ready with the rigging process. If you have any questions regarding the Launch Control add-on, once you have it downloaded, you can also join the Discord server as well. There are a whole bunch of members just like you who are using the Launch Control add-on and are car animation enthusiasts. So if you have any questions regarding this add-on, you can always just go to the Discord server and then ask it in the help section right here, or you can go to the FAQ section and look for commonly asked questions if you have a question that needs to be answered. Okay, so for this tutorial, I'll be using Blender 4.5. Now, to get the car models, I'm going to be using a website called CG Trader. You can go to this website and then type in F1. Hit enter, you can click on free, and then there are a ton of free F1 models for you to use. So for this tutorial, I'll be using this Red Bull 2022 Formula 1 car, and I'll also download this Aston Martin. So I'll click on this Red Bull first. Make sure you're logged in with a free Google account and then go ahead and just click free download. We're going to download the Red Bull 2022 blend file right here. So click on download, and you also want to download these textures with it. because if you just download the blend file, it's going to show up pink without the textures. So make sure you download the textures as well. So click on this and then this. And then once you have it downloaded, you can save it into your folder. I made a Red Bull F1 car folder. I double clicked and I extracted the files here. So you can see the blend file right here and the textures are right here. And we'll also download the Aston Martin right here, F1. This one is already rigged, which is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and click on free download. And then again, we are going to download the blend file right here. So I'll download this blend file right here, click on download, and then it's going to come in a zipped folder. So you have to extract it. And then it's right here. It'll show up like this. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to my car assets and I'll make a new folder. I'll call it Aston underscore F1, enter, double click, and I'll just drag it in. This one doesn't need any textures. The textures are already baked into it, so we're good. Hit A and then X to delete everything. Let's import in our F1 car model. Go to File, Append, and I'll import in the Red Bull model first. So let's go find where we saved it. I saved it right here. If I just go type in Red Bull F1 car model right here, and then it'll be the blend file right here. Double click, go to Object, hit A, and then Append. Okay, we don't need any of these objects right here, so we'll just hit X to delete. If you go into Material Preview, like this, you can see that the materials or textures are not applied. And so to apply them, we'll go to File, go to External Data, Find Missing Files. And then they're right here. As you can see, it was right next to the blend file, the textures. Just hit Find Missing Files. There we go. Now our model is ready for rigging. Now, before we rig it with the Launch Control add-on, we need to make sure everything is named correctly. So let's go back to solid mode. Let's first go ahead and hit A, hold shift, click on the middle body right here, and we can just right click, set origin to geometry. There we go. We also have to hit A on our timeline right here. So hit A and then X to delete all the keyframes. That way we can make sure there are no keyframes applied on any of the objects. Now let's make sure the F1 car is the correct real world scale or size. Now all F1 cars are approximately 5.5 meters long and 2 meters wide, sorry. Let's use the measuring tool and let's measure out 5.5 meters. So we'll start from here and we'll just measure out 5.5, about right there. It doesn't have to be exact. Don't worry about being exact. If it's approximately close enough, then you're fine. Okay, then hit A and then S to scale down. Okay, I think that's approximately 5.5 meters. Okay, that's close enough. Let's go to the top and make sure it's 2 meters wide. Yep, that is just about 2 meters wide. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. Click on this, just hit X to delete it. Let's go back to the select box tool. And now we're going to go to the -Y view and we'll select only the body parts because we want to separate the body from the tires. So let's go into wireframe. Let's select the body like this. Let's go to the top view, make sure all the body parts are selected. So hold shift, select it like this, hold shift, select this. And I think I got all of it. So if I move it, if I go into solid mode and just move it to the side by hitting G and X, oh, you can see I missed a object. So I'll hit Control Z to put it back. And let's select this by holding shift. Now if you hit G and then X, let's make sure all the body parts are selected. And it looks like all of them are selected except this. We also need to select these objects as well. Go back to top view, Control Z, and I'll hold shift, select this, hold shift, select this. And now we can move it to the side. So to move it to the side, I'm actually going to zoom out, go to -Y view, zoom out, hit G on my keyboard and then X, and then hold Control. We'll go to the side. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then I'll do Shift A. I'll add in an empty cube. Let's go to the side view and then I'll hit S and then Y and I'll scale it on the Y axis to make sure it covers the entire vehicle. Okay. Let's go to the top view and I'll just hit S and then X to scale on the X axis just a little bit. And that is good enough. Okay. So now let's go back to the -Y view. Let's go into wireframe. Let's select the entire car body like this. Let's do zoom out, then hit G and then X on your keyboard and then hold Control and we'll go 1, 2, 3. Boom. And now let's just hold shift, click on the empty, and we'll do Control P, and we'll parent all the body parts to the cube empty. So click on object right here. Okay. If you go back to solid mode, you can see that this controls the entire body. Control Z to put it back in place. Let's rename the cube empty here. So let's do F2 on our keyboard. We'll rename it to Red Bull dot body. Enter. Click on your body right here, and you want to make sure this isn't named body either, because then it'll confuse the Launch Control add-on. So hit F2, and you can see it's named body here. We'll just change it to main, so the add-on doesn't get confused. Okay. Now we can go to our collection right here. Let's find the empty right here. Let's open it, and we can go all the way down, hold shift, click, and then hit M on your keyboard. We'll add it to a new collection. We'll call it body, and then we'll just hit create. Nice. Now we can just hide the body, and we're left with the tires. All right, so there's an issue with the tires. Before we can even name them, we have to make sure they are, we have to make sure they are completely straight and aligned correctly. You can see that this tire right here isn't fully, straight. It's a little bit tilted to the side for some reason, which is not good, because if you use the Launch Control add-on and rig it, the wheels might wobble, and you might run into some wobbling issues when animating the car. So we don't want that to happen. We want to make sure these wheels are close to being straight. So let's just do that real quick. I'm going to click on this. You know what I'll do? I'll just hit R, and then I'll hit Y on my keyboard, and then I'll just rotate it till it's completely straight. Okay. But I think that is relatively pretty straight. Now, if you go to the top view, again, we can just make sure. Let's go ahead and fix this. I can tell that this isn't completely straight, because you can see a bit of the outline of the rim here. So let's click on this tire. Let's hit R and then Y, and then I'll just rotate it till I think it's straight. I think that's relatively straight. Let's go to the -Y view. Let's just make sure. Yeah, that's relatively straight. Again, you can copy the exact transformation settings I have here for this tire. And we want to make sure these are touching, this inner lid right here. So let's make sure these are touching. Let's go to the top view. Let's just hit G and then X. And we can hold shift and then slowly move it towards this inner lid. That's good enough. And same with this. Hit GX and we'll just move it to the lid. Boom. Now let's move on to naming the tires correctly. So let's go ahead and click on this tire right here. Follow along exactly. So name them exactly as I am typing it here. Hit F2, and we want to rename this to Red Bull dot wheel dot. This is the front left tire. So front left. So FL. And you can go ahead and just hit Control A and then Control C to copy it. And then we can hit enter, and then we can apply the same to this. So click on this tire, hit F2, and then you can hit Control V to paste the new name. But this tire is the front right tire. So you just want to change the last letter to FR, front right. And we'll do the same with the back. So let's go here. Let's hit Control V to paste it, and we'll just do, this is the rear left. So you want to do RL instead. So RL, and then this one is the rear right. So again, paste it and just do RR, which is rear right. Let's also go ahead and just rename this as well. So hit F2. We'll rename this to, I'll rename it to carbon dot mount. Even though that's not really correct, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We're not really going to be, focused on this part of the car anyways. So I'm just going to name it to car mount, and then dot. This is the front right, FR. And then I'll rename this one to F2, carbon dot mount dot front left, so FL. And then this inside lid here is just going to be lid dot front right. And then this inner is going to be F2, lid dot, all right, we'll do capital, lid dot front left. Now, we also need to parent all the tire parts to this tire here. So hit Control Z and let's go into wireframe mode and let's just, select all of the tire parts. And you want to make sure the outer part is yellow like this. So again, you can do that by just holding Shift and clicking and making sure the outer tire is the last one selected. So then just hit Control P and then parent to object. And then if you move the tire, all the parts move with it. Okay, so you want to do the same thing. So just go ahead and select like this, and then you can hold Shift and click on the tire like this, hit Control P, and then parent it. And then look, all the parts are connected. Okay, we can bring back the body now. And let's also rename some of the parts up front. So let's rename this over here. Hit F2, and we'll rename it to carbon dot suspension dot front. This is the front right, and we'll do dot 01. Okay, so Control A, we can copy that, and then Control C to copy it like this, enter. Click on this middle one right here, F2, rename it. We can just say Control V to copy the last thing, and then we'll just rename it to O2. F2, Control V, copy, O3. Okay, same on this side, except this one will be the front left. So F2, Control V, and we'll rename it to front left dot 01. Control A, copy, enter, middle, F2, Control V, O2, copy, or sorry, enter, and then again, Control V. This is the O3, carbon suspension, and then enter. I think that should do it. Now we can just go ahead and collapse this. With this empty selected, go all the way down, hold Shift, and click on this. Then we can just drag this entire empty into this collection right here, and then just decollapse it like this, and you can delete the body collection because we don't need that anymore. So just hit X to delete it, and we can rename this collection to Red Bull F1. All right, so if you did everything correctly, your collection should look like this with the main collection right here, and then you'll have the body and then all the wheels. So if it looks like this, then all you have to do is just click on N, go to the Launch Control Addon, let's go to Local, and we'll just click the Red Bull F1 collection like this, and then all you have to do is just hit Rig Vehicle. And boom, you are good to go. If you hit play, your vehicle is fully rigged and ready to be animated. So let's go back to frame 25, and we're gonna go and select one of the pre-made animations already. There's a bunch of them that you can use, some drift one as well, some jump ones, but we're gonna be using this turn 2 template right here. Go ahead and click animate vehicle. And what it does is it brings in this entire, racetrack for you already made. It's pretty basic, but you know what? It does the job for the animation. We will be tweaking it later on in the tutorial to make it look a little better, but this is a pretty good base. So what we're going to do is now we're just going to make sure and check that the car moves correctly around the track. So we can zoom in like this, and we can go open up this manual gearbox, and we can go to the cinematography right here, and we can just, add in a camera like this. So you can add in mounted cameras to the car or a follow camera. Let's use a follow camera for now. Click that. And then all you have to do is just hit play. And look at that. It's spinning just fine. We can even move the camera to the side. So with the camera selected, we can let's just move it to the side. See how the wheels are spinning? And they're spinning perfectly. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and save our blend file by going to File, Save As, and we'll save it as F1 Animation Tutorial. Save As. Okay. Now, if you want, you can also add in some physics. So let's go ahead and enable physics. And then if you hit play, there are some real world physics applied to the car automatically. You just have to make sure you bake the physics, when rendering. So before you render out your animation, make sure you bake the physics, and then it'll just be set for you and it won't mess up. So I don't really need any physics, so I can just disable those for now. What we do have to do is it does run into a little bit of some clipping issues. So if you go here, you can see that, it hits these little blocks on the side here. So we can actually adjust the animation path. So click on this. Let's go into edit mode, and we can go to top view like this, and we can select this point right here. So if you go into wireframe, you can select this point, and you can just move it. So I'm going to hit G and then X, and I can move it, you know? And then, you know what? We also have to select this one right here, and let's just hit GX, move it to the side like this. I can also adjust the path. I don't like how it's so close to the side here. Let's move this over, GX. There we go. Okay, so to add in your second car, we're gonna have to go and hit N. Let's go to the Launch Control Addon. Let's go to the top, and you can click on this plus to add in a new vehicle. So click on it. So let's go right click here, new collection. We'll call it, Aston F1. I'm not sure if I spelled that right, but it's okay. Let's go to edit, let's go to file, append, and let's go right here, Aston F1, double click, and we'll go to object, hit A, and then append. And you can see it's massive, so we're gonna have to adjust the scale. Let's go ahead and just uncheck launch control for now. We don't need it. Let's decollapse that. Let's also hide this. And let's go back to frame 1 or 25. That's where it starts. We could just scale this down till it's the same size as our Red Bull car. Let's rig this car as well. We're going to hide our Red Bull F1, and we don't need any of this here, so we'll just delete all that. We can actually click this, all this, hit X, delete. Let's first go ahead and just hit A, and then Alt P, clear, and keep transformation. We don't need any of this. We don't need this rig anymore. We'll just hit X and delete that. Shift S, we can do cursor to world origin, put that in the middle. Let's hit A, and then right click, set origin to geometry. Let's go to side view, let's click on the body, hit Shift S, cursor to selected. Then do Shift A, we'll add in a empty cube again to control the car, body. So let's do S and then Y to scale. And then we'll select the body, and we'll actually rename this to main 2. And then we'll shift click the empty, Control P, parent it to the object, and then we'll click on the empty. We'll rename it to Aston.body. Let's go to -Y. Let's deselect. Let's select the empty. Let's do G, X, and we'll just hold Control, move aside. 1, 2, 3. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure these tires are a little straight. So you can see that this one here is tilted. To fix that, all we have to do is just make sure the origin point is correct. So the origin point is actually all the way to the side here. We need it to be directly in the center. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on it. We'll do right click, set origin to center of mass volume. That'll put it directly in the middle. We'll do the same with all of these, center of mass volume, center of mass volume, center of mass volume. Okay, and then let's click on this, and we can just go ahead and do, let's click on this brake here. Let's shift click the tire, Control P, parent it to the object, and then we'll do that for all of them. And then let's go to top view, and we're just going to zero out the rotation here. So zero it out. That should straighten it up. This 2, we'll just go to the side here, zero it out. We can see that this is more in the middle and this is not, so we got to move it. So let's hit G and then X, and we'll move it more in the middle. We'll also just zero out the back wheels as well. Okay. And we want to make sure these are completely straight, which they are. Okay, I think we're good. We can just go and click on this. We'll do GX and we'll move 1, 2, 3 back. Okay, so the collection should look like this. And now all we have to do is go over here and just choose the Aston F1 and then rig vehicle. Oh, okay, we got an issue. What's cool about the Launch Control Addon is that it'll tell you what the issue is. And as you can see here, it says that the objects over here all have an unsupported rotation mode. We need to select the rotation mode of these objects and change it to XYZ Euler before rigging. So we can see that right here. If you click on the object right here, you can see that over here the mode is whatever this is. We got to change it to XYZ Euler. So let's just do that. Also do that with the body as well, XYZ Euler. And you know what? We got to do that with uh, the brakes as well. Okay, now I think we're good. We can just hit rig vehicle. There we go. Okay, so now it is rigged and ready to go. So let's go ahead and let's just bring back our launch control. Let's go ahead and okay, once you have the Aston Martin rigged, we can go ahead and go to this path right here, and you can hit Shift D to duplicate it, and then right click on your mouse to set it back in place. Okay, and now we can rename this. Right now it was the Red Bull path. We can rename it to just driving path underscore Aston. Enter. Okay, and then we can just switch it up a bit. So let's go, you know what? We can actually move it to the side. So let's do G and then X. And we can just move to the side. Okay, so now we have two paths. This is the Red Bull path right here for the Red Bull F1 car, and this will be for the Aston F1 car. So we can actually change it up here a bit. Let's go to edit mode, and we can just, you know, fix it up. Move this over to the side. Let's actually move, let's actually select this. We can actually move it a little more to the side as well, so they're not bumping into each other. Like that. Okay, so we can go back here, go back into object mode, and with the Aston Martin selected, we can go over to the user path and we can select the driving path Aston. And then we can just change this to like 350, doesn't matter, and then hit animate vehicle. Boom. Now bring back your Red Bull model, and they should be going or driving on their own path. So just hit spacebar to hit play, and there you go. They're on their own path, racing each other. Okay, now if you want to adjust their speed, you can go and use this speed segments feature. So first, let's enable the speedometer feature so we can see how fast each car is going. So we can go and enable it on the F1 model as well. So enable that. And then if you hit play, you can see that you can see how fast they're traveling right here as well. So the F1 car model is currently traveling at 139 kilometers. And it looks like the Aston Martin is traveling at 123 or 124 kilometers an hour. So to adjust their speed, I'm going to go to the Red Bull model first, and then we can use the speed segments tool. So click on the speed segments tool, and then this option should pop up here. It might look different. The speeds might look different depending on how you adjusted your path, but don't worry. You can switch it up here. So for example, you can see this point here, it starts at 0 kilometers an hour, and then it picks up here, or you know, at this turn right here, they slow down to make this turn here. And obviously you have to slow down a little bit to make this wide turn here. So yeah, to add in another point for your car to travel. So say I want the car to be traveling a little faster over in this section here. I think we can click on this right here and hold Control Alt and then left mouse button click. So left mouse button click, and that adds another speed segment right there. And as you can see, it'll make the Red Bull car a little faster, 151 kilometers. We can actually make it go a little faster. So let's actually pick up the speed right here. So to pick up the speed, you can hold Control and then left mouse button drag like this. So let's see what that happens there. Boom. It picks up right away. And see this turn here? That turn was super sharp and a little too fast. That looks unrealistic. So if you look at the Aston right here, it turns a little too quick there, in my opinion. Maybe that's too quick. So let's go, we can escape this. So click escape to exit this speed segments option for the Red Bull F1 model. Hit escape, or you can click over here as well. And let's switch to the Aston F1 model, and let's go to the speed segments tool for this model. Okay, so it looks like there's not much speed segment, so we can add more by, I guess we can click over here, I guess we can click over here. So hold Control Alt and then left mouse button click. That adds one more here, and we can click on this as well. So Control Alt and then click again, and it adds another speed segment there. Let's add in one more over here as well. So Control Alt click, so it adds in another one there. So let's go back. I want it to start a little faster. So let's hold Control and then let's just lift this a bit. That's too much. Okay, like that. Let's also increase the speed over here as well. Maybe a little more. Okay, and then over here, the speed is way too fast here. And that's probably why it turns so fast. So let's decrease the speed here. So hold Control and just bring the speed down. I think the speed should be at like, what, 73? Yeah, there we go. And then you know what? The speed could pick up right here. Maybe like 160, 170. Okay? So that's how you use the speed segments tool. You can add in more points and increase the speed or decrease the speed in each part of the track, wherever you want. We can go ahead and just click on disable, and I think we're good for now. Okay, so this tutorial has reached the 30-minute mark. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you all in part 2. Peace.